I remember it happened this morning. I got up at 5 or 7. It was right around the time of the explosions in Lutsk. Usually I don't wake up so early, but that day I did. That day my lessons at the music school started early and I didn't feel like going. I remember hearing the explosions. I couldn't quite believe that the war had started, even though others were saying it's happening right now. I told myself, no, it can't be. War? Here? We live in Lutsk and in a 9-story block. Our house is next to the city hall. On the first day of the war, we thought we would have to go away. It was dangerous to stay, because if there will be shooting again, they will aim for the city hall. We also have a house that we've been building for 10 years. It is located in the vicinity of Lutsk, in the countryside. We spent the first night in an apartment, and the next day we went to this house in the countryside. It turns out that there are not many things necessary for life. It was just the house. We had no beds, no toilet, no bathroom. The toilet was outside. Fortunately, at least the house had heating. This was due to the fact that when building the house, we did everything slowly, so the kitchen was not ready either. We had to buy an electric stove to be able to cook something. Since the beginning of the war, we still live in this house. People were buying everything that was available. When you went to the store at 12:10 a.m., the shelves were already empty. There was no bread, no milk, no products. And the pharmacies were empty too. People were preparing in case there was another attack on the city. They bombed us 4 times. This is why people would buy bandages, iodine, and a lot of other medical stuff. People were scared. Many people went to Poland. Later, they came back because they understood that Lutsk is more or less safe. But still, people were scared. They were afraid of everyone and everything. I remember on the first day after the explosions, they immediately told us that school and after-school activities were off, because the war had begun. After a while, we had online lessons again, but it wasn't effective learning. For the past 2 years, there were no normal classes due to the pandemic. Honestly, when there is remote learning, I can see that no one is studying at all. In the beginning, nothing was happening yet. Remote lessons were introduced only after some time. But even so, all the conversations were about the war and what would happen next. In the first week of the war, we were doing a lot and helping at church. We were collecting things for soldiers, making dumplings, and generally preparing food. I remember we used to sit together to eat, and we were talking only about the war. We talked a lot about people who went to Poland. Some had positive reactions, because they understood that these people were fleeing the war and that they were afraid. But there were also others who judged others for making such a decision. For the first 3 months, war was the only conversation topic. Now we're able to talk about all sorts of things, but back then we were just talking about the war. My older brother is youth leader in our province. I didn't know that right away, because at that time I wasn't yet a member of the youth group. I was only 15, but I turned 16 this summer. My brother suggested that I take a friend and sign up for this camp. I said yes. I wrote to a friend, but she said she wasn't sure and probably won't come with me. Then I wrote to another friend, but her parents wouldn't let her go. It wasn't until I wrote to my third friend and she said yes. I told my brother that I found a friend and said we were going together. He said that it was great and that he would register us right away. 2 weeks later, this friend calls me and says that she was removed from the conversation because she is not registered, so she's not going. I thought maybe I shouldn't go either, because if I'm alone, what am I gonna do there? We were supposed to go to Poland. It's a different country. I didn't know what it would be like. But then it turned out that one boy had resigned and my friend went in his place. My brother told me all about it. He formed a group and said we were going to gospel camp to Marilyn. And here we are. The trip took us 13 hours. Interestingly, some things are different than in the camps in Ukraine. But there are things that we have at home as well. For example, I love the interesting and really engaging games. I know a little Polish. I may not be able to say much, but I understand most of it. There are situations when I can talk to someone, ask their name, and so on, and I understand what people are saying to me. I'm glad I met some Polish girls here I can talk to. How do you understand Polish? I used to learn this language at school, but here we have an interpreter who explains morning and evening meetings to us. We have special headphones we put on, we can adjust the volume, and we have an interpreter who is our leader. And as it turned out, she was born in Ukraine, but as a child she moved with her parents to Poland. She speaks Russian to us, but she also understands Ukrainian. I really want to go home. I understand that there is a war, but here in Ukraine we say, there is no place like home. That's why we Ukrainians like to go visit someone. We also like to invite people, but we also really like to be at home. It's not so bad in Lutsk. It's peaceful. For the last 1.5 to 2 months, there were no explosions. I want to go home to Lutsk, even though I'm feeling great here. At the moment I entered music studies, I'm very happy, because it's something long-term. I'm gonna play the flute, do what I really want to do with my life. I'm gonna be like my mom. All my family is gifted at music. Everybody plays an instrument. In that sense, I can say that one of my dreams has already come true. I applied for this school, not because I didn't have a choice, but because I really wanted to study there. This is my first time in Poland. My first impression is really good. Not even looking at the cities and the way everything looks here, I can say that the people are really cool. I love it that the people here are honest. It's very interesting to me that believers are eager to talk about their conversion. It's great to hear testimonies of how other people got closer to God at the camp. I really like the discipline too. In Ukraine, when there is a youth festival, young people from all over the province gather and everybody lives in tents. There is no discipline at all. People can be late, they do what they want, and it turns out some people are always late and some people are always on time. There are rules, but not everyone follows them. And here at the gospel camp, I saw that some people don't even need to be reminded of the rules, because they follow them anyway. I love it that people here are disciplined and have a positive attitude towards others.
Дисципліна людей і їхнє відношення.